What's up guys, I'm Skyline Shore, here with MMO Attack. Greetings travelers. And it seems that you're looking for maybe some hidden treasure, seeking new adventures, stuff like that. You don't know exactly where to start though. But it's okay, I actually know how you feel. So let me help you out here and show you a few paths you can take on the start of your new journey. So these 10 games are all fun, for lots of different reasons, so don't expect any of these to actually be in any sort of order. None of the games will all out best any other, so I'm gonna make sure to categorize them based on genre. And just before we start, I'd like to say I hope you find what you're looking for. Honestly, sincerely. Anyways guys, so first up, let's take a look at the best free-to-play MMO shooters. Easy access, intuitive controls, huge city, epic customization. Seriously guys, really good customization, I'm not even kidding. And it's got this really unique, free roam kind of game feel. And all these things make APB Reloaded really a must play, a must try. Even if it's just one time, even if it's just for a limited time. The run and gun playstyle, and like I said, the customization, it's gonna leave an impression on you. So yeah, the game started out a bit glitchy on release, and this kind of gave it a bad rap. But after content updates and all this stuff being added to the game, constantly being polished, it's now even more polished than a lot of AAA titles. So definitely good to go now. Basically, the game is one giant video version of Cops and Robbers. So you pick a side, and then you just kind of have fun and beat each other up. It's actually really cool. So the PvE is the PvP, intertwined together. And if you enjoy Grand Theft Auto gameplay, but you kind of want it in a multiplayer free-to-play package, then here you go. Come on down to APB. Okay guys, take Starship Troopers and then cel shade it. And yeah, boom, now we have Firefall. It's an open world shooter. Firefall is a PvE MMO that has there's some hints that there's going to be some competitive PvP involved, but you know, the game's still in development, which by the way, it's kind of been in development hell, but regardless, the game gives you unprecedented acrobatic abilities, like say gliding, and then you have different vehicles and stuff, and you can leap, and just you're really acrobatic in this game, from mountains to cities. And really actually the open world aspect, the exploration to Firefall, is actually a core component to its gameplay. You see, players have to work together to actually unlock areas which have been encroached upon by the melding, which is this wall of energy that kind of swallows up entire areas of the globe. Yeah, players have to actually fight this back in order to unlock areas and bosses and do certain events. Yeah, Firefall promises really a more dynamic approach to PvE content versus the linear story progression, and it really allows players to play the way they want, giving them tons of options. And for example, you can switch classes at any time. Yeah, Firefall, it's been in development hell, but even where it is now, it's completely fun to play regardless. Yeah, it's just about the most epic game out there, pretty much. It's simply the most action you could possibly hope for in a game. It's got a science fiction setting, expect, you know, lasers, invisibility, giant hovering aircrafts, and epic force field shielded bases. Yeah, so there's hundreds and hundreds of players that are clashing together. Faction versus faction versus faction gameplay. There's tons of unique upgrades that can be accessed through playing, and there's already a ton of unique classes to pick from, with each faction having different equipment specific to them. That's from guns, equipment, different color schemes, aesthetics, vehicles, and different bases already. Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. Definitely a lot of fun. You fight an epic war with friends, you're gonna have a blast, I promise. Really, the only downside is how strong of a machine you need to run the game. But if you can run it at max, guys, I promise, you're gonna have way too much fun. Running and gunning, it's fun and addicting. Sometimes bullets really don't quite satisfy, like, say, the impact of spells or gray swords. For those who understand the fantasy mindset but still love action, these next 3 games will definitely put a shine in your eye. The thing that these games share in common is the dungeon diving aspect. A heavy emphasis is put on small party play, and it takes place mostly within instance areas. The MMO aspects really shine inside of their competitive PvP and PvE content. Okay guys, here we have a tie, actually. Both Dragon Nest and Vindictus are really extremely similar, and also sister titles. And while there are very minor differences between them, the biggest change would have to be the art style. Vindictus is much more mature and horror-based, while Dragon Nest is more anime-inspired and really colorful. They both feature some of the best, if not the actual best, action combat in a multiplayer game, and are completely centered around epic combos and a hack-and-slash gameplay. I honestly think both games are worthy of a try, but some might dislike the art or style of one or the other, so pick one and have fun. Up next, we have a slightly cartoon version of Dungeons & Dragons World. Probably a different kind of viewpoint than you're used to. It's a little bit comical, but Neverwinter really promises to bring in some action that we're not used to in a lot of MMOs. So yes, Dungeons & Dragons Neverwinter takes place in a familiar land. It's filled with liches and undead, and of course a few dragons and dungeons. Choosing a class and picking a role are necessary investments, which really breathe life into the game since it entirely revolves around the party questing, the dungeon diving. One extremely unique feature to Neverwinter is the fact that you actually create your own dungeons, and also the mix between tab targeting and action combat really makes the genre feel fresh. And holding its place in many top 10s as probably number 1, Path of Exile is simply one of the best games out there, and the fact that it's a free-to-play makes it that much better. It really simply just has too much customization, at least in regards to the abilities and traits and talents, and the RPG aspect to it is phenomenal. The story? Absolutely good. So if you want an experience like Torchlight or Diablo, but free to play and really good multiplayer, play Path of Exile today for instant gratification. Community, it's the reason why we play MMOs. Either to lone wolf, rise above the crowd, or join a massive guild and become the world's first to destroy the endgame. Or you can just havoc around with a group of friends. The next 3 games have a huge emphasis on all parts of communication from player to player all the way to guild versus guild. These games all have very large worlds and are more traditional, but have a truly astounding amount of content to explore with friends, and of course rivals alike. Star Wars: The Old Republic has a great storyline, and also interesting PvP arena battles. They're always adding entirely new content, such as right now they just added space fighting and spaceships, which is pretty freaking cool. And yeah, Star Wars, for the most part, is actually almost identical to World of Warcraft mechanics, which is, to a lot of people, really good. To a lot of people, same old, same old. A new setting and free-to-play payment model really makes this game worth a visit. A notorious grind, Terra actually features too many unique gameplay mechanics, really, to not be on this list. While yes, it does take a while to actually get to the endgame content, it's completely worth it. It holds the standard for true action combat, and its unique art style also lends a hand at making it one of the best MMO experiences, and really kind of like a work of art. If unique classes, unique bosses, and a new world are exactly what you're looking for, really then look no further. Our next contender on this list is Rift, which is really likened to World of Warcraft since its release. Rift has been ever-changing, and going free-to-play was the catalyst for even more change, as since then the designers of Rift have non-stop been trying to make the very best MMO out there. While many aspects of the game could be considered standard, it's the polish that really sets it apart from other free-to-plays, and more than most, is worth delving into. And yeah, it is a little bit usual, but at the same time as a free-to-play, it's unusual. It's unusually massive. There's a lot to do, and that's what you want in an MMO. Now guys, there really is a question about what exactly is an MMO. Now so, what does it even mean for a game to be called free-to-play? Some games require purchases in order to fully enjoy the so-called free experience. Some buy-to-play games offer a ridiculous amount of content for free compared to subscription competitors, do trials and demos count as free-to-play. What I do know is that there are a lot of games that I could put on this list for an astounding number of reasons, each unique to the MMO. But I want to share my professional opinion on one of the best MMO experiences that I've ever had as a free-to-play experience, and even against my experience playing World of Warcraft and Guild Wars 2, and that game is RuneScape. While not officially a part of this list because the majority of the game hides behind a payment barrier, it is still a great game to get into, or get back into, due to its popularity and unique storylines, which no other game really does a better job of. Questing in RuneScape actually really feels like an adventure, and the risk-reward nature of the entire game makes it feel so much more rewarding. And with these new ideas being put into the game every month, such as dungeoneering, big updates, there really isn't a limit to the challenge that awaits here. To be honest, it is even fun just to play through the free-to-play quests, and worth the time to do so if you can get past the charming, yet admittedly hideous graphics. Just know that the game is still going strong, and only getting better. But that's it guys, these 10 games are all great adventures waiting to happen, but also remember that there are more on the horizon. More and more games are coming out, and so many look golden compared to our previous treasures. Some bend the definition of the genre, and some are bringing concepts we have never even imagined possible. Either way, don't let these gems escape you now. Regardless of age, they will always be valued and worthwhile to someone somewhere, and together, you guys can share in the experience. The very reason we play these kinds of games. If you're interested in knowing more about the upcoming MMOs, you should come back and see our next top 10, and definitely subscribe for news. I'm Skylant Shore with MMO Attack, and we'll see you guys later.
Hey guys, Kirk here, and welcome to MMO Attack's first impressions of the Elder Scrolls Online PvP. PvP is hopefully just how you expected, a wild, crazy slaughterfest with blood, murder, meat, fire, and trebuchets all over the place. There's a lot to take in on your first trip to Cyrodiil. You'll be going through the menus, figuring out what your faction owns, where the nearest keep battle is, where you should fast